Welcome. You are listening to the Mindful Minute, meditations created for everyday joy. I'm your host, Meryl Arnett, and my passion is making meditation accessible and enjoyable. This podcast is recorded from my live Monday night meditation class, where we have a brief discussion followed by a guided meditation. If you would like to access these meditation practices as standalone audio files for your daily practice, please subscribe to my newsletter at merylarnett.com. It's free, and you'll receive a new mini meditation each week, along with behind-the-scenes content and bonus material for each podcast episode. All right, let's grab a cup of tea, a comfy seat, and settle in for today's practice. Hey y'all, welcome. Today we are progressing on our exploration of winter this month. We have journeyed through the winter woods, and today we're going to have a little party with wolves. I am sharing one of my favorite meditations that I created early on for the Roots meditation app. To me, this meditation evokes the emotions of winter and a deep connection to our wild selves. This practice is called the Call of the Wolf, and I'll be honest, it is not for the faint of heart. In this meditation, we're going to hear the woods at night, and then a vibrant pack of wolves howling at the moon from Wolf Haven in Washington State. This is a wolf sanctuary that rescues wolves that can no longer live in the wild. My dear friend Gordon Hempton, sound artist and acoustic ecologist, recorded these sounds, and I highly recommend you put on headphones to get the full immersive experience of these sounds. You know, winter is really the season of the wolf. This is their mating season, and you're more likely to witness one in the wild now than any other time, as they hunt, as they play in the snow. In North America, many indigenous groups in the North named the January full moon the wolf moon. And it's pretty easy, right, to bring to mind an image of a snowy, dark landscape with a wolf howling at the moon. In truth, though, wolves howl for a number of reasons, none of which have to do with the moon as far as I've been able to tell. They howl as a social rallying call, as a hail to hunt, as a territorial expression. And I think it bodes well for our own well-being when we remember that we, too, need to howl once in a while. You know, one of my very favorite responses or outgrowths to the COVID-19 pandemic was the reminder to scream. And I do not mean to make light of our very real trauma and suffering during this pandemic. And I think it's only because this hits a nerve so deeply true that sometimes the response is to sort of incredulously laugh. But this pandemic is one of the times, I'll say, that really showed us how damaging it is to lock emotions inside ourselves, to lock normal response inside ourselves and try to perform, try to quote unquote behave up to societal expectations. You know, at one point I remember there was a phone number circulated. I think maybe this was in memes that I saw this. And it just went to a voicemail where you were encouraged to call and leave a scream recording, to howl. In the New York Times at one point there was an article about women getting together to go into the woods or other isolated places and just scream together, to be in a scream circle, to release the stress, the emotional burdens of the moment that felt so overwhelmingly that we just couldn't speak about them. That wasn't enough. We had to howl. We had to release emotion that perhaps is buried or frozen in the body, or maybe it's simply to remember our own animalistic ways of expression and connection. I don't think it's coincidence that this time of year, the winter season, is the time I most feel called to reread Women Who Run with Wolves. For easily more than a decade, this book has been on my nightstand, and I revisit it time and time again. In it, Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes uses myths and storytelling as a pathway to access the wild woman archetype, our instinctual, nature-based selves, the part of us that is so often buried and lost to societal expectation and pressure. In the foreword, Estes writes, "No matter where we are, the shadow that trots behind us is definitely four-footed." And later, she describes her own experience and she writes, "Like my kith and kin before me, I staggered in high heels, and I wore a dress and hat to church. But my fabulous tail often fell below my hemline, and my ears twitched until my hat pitched at the very least down over both my eyes, and sometimes clear across the room." Every time I read that, I feel the deepest, longest yes response. I mean, the truth of these words and the value in remembering this truth. The meditation that we're going to do today is a love poem to the wolf inside each of us. This practice is an invitation. It's an unearthing of your wild, instinctive nature. And I don't mean wild as in exuberant or loud, but wild as in the self that is born of and inextricably connected to the natural world. This practice is allowing us to fine-tune our inner listening and our relationship to our own wise intuition. Wolves are known for their keen senses, their playful spirits, and their deep devotion and loyalty to the pack. When our own wildness, our own natural state is healthy, we too are relational creatures with wise intuition, playful hearts, and deep devotion to the health and wellness of our communities. As we settle into our practice here, you're going to hear a pack of wolves howling at the moon. Don't worry if you find yourself a little uncomfortable at first. After all, moving into a deeper relationship with ourselves is bound to be a little uncomfortable from time to time. Remember, you can always open your eyes, pause the recording if you need. Otherwise, allow yourself to relax. Open up your ears, your mind, and your heart, and let's practice. Go ahead and come to a comfortable seat. Feel yourself seated in a way that you can sit up tall, nice lifted spine. Let your shoulders roll back and down. Your eyes drift closed. And together we'll start with our breath. Deep inhale in. Exhale out a sigh. And let's just do that again. Inhale deeply through the nose. Fill yourself up. Exhale out a sigh. Let it go. Allowing your breath now to flow at its own comfortable pace. Taking time to settle into your practice here today. You might begin just by silently saying to yourself, "Now is my time to meditate. Now is my time to meditate." And with your intentions stated, feel yourself truly sit. letting go from the inside of the body all the way out to the edges. Feeling your seat relax into the cushion or chair beneath you. Feeling the top of your head lift up and reach back just a touch so that you're tall and awake. Allow the forehead to smooth and broaden. The skin around the eyes softens. And the jaw relaxes its grip. And as you breathe here, gradually you let go of the muscles in the belly. So that as you're inhaling, you're feeling a slight expansion of your belly. And as you exhale, you're feeling a slight contraction. Inhaling, feeling your body expand. Exhale, feeling your body subtly contract. Nothing too forceful here. And as you settle into this smooth, even breathing, you feel any hard edges softening. Feeling your breath even itself out. Inhales and exhales feel roughly the same length, the same volume. And as we breathe here, starting with your next exhale, begin counting down from 10. Every exhale counting down towards 0. And if you get lost along the way, you can always start again at 10. And as you approach 0, let your ears open up and take in the call of the wolf. Letting the vibration of those wolf calls rest within you. Taking a moment just to relax anywhere that you might have tightened. To breathe and allow that vibration to settle. Notice how the call of the wolves made you feel, without judgment, even without words. Simply allow yourself to feel the resonance of these calls as we sit and we breathe for just another second. And gradually deepening your breath here. Letting yourself remember your body, the room you're in, the building, the city. Wiggle your fingers and your toes as you breathe even more deeply. Big sigh now, deep breath in. Let go of a sigh. Taking all the time you need to blink your eyes open. Perhaps taking a few last minutes here just to journal about your experience so you don't forget any of the wisdom you received. And when you're ready, you can release this practice and go on with your day. Thanks for listening to the Mindful Minute. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider sharing it with a friend or leaving me a review wherever you get your podcasts. This helps others to find the show, and let's face it, we could definitely use more meditators in this world. The Mindful Minute is recorded on Muskogee land and produced with the support of Brianna Nielsen Virtual Assistants. To join my live classes, ask questions, or learn more about my teacher trainings, please visit merylarnett.com. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you guys next week.